historically, Memorial Day weekend for the UFC.
It's a big one.
Big one. Now we got nothing. We went from having some of the biggest fights of all time to nothing. And you took part in 2 of those historic Memorial Day cards. So we had 2 anniversaries for you this past weekend. We had UFC 173 when you made your debut at, actually, no, your second fight at 205.
Second fight against Dan Henderson.
And then UFC 187 when you finally tasted gold, right?
And it tasted so sweet. I mean, it was like getting 11 chicken wings when you order 10. You know, you remember Chase Sherman? It was like getting that an extra. I mean, boy, when you get a hold of that belt.
Can I break the fourth wall for a sec?
Go ahead.
Can I reveal something that we've never talked about? We haven't even talked about this beforehand.
Okay, tell me, man.
You don't know what it is?
You were rooting for Rumble or some crazy stuff like that. You were like, Rumble.
I would never do that. Okay, so that win over Rumble Johnson, that's very memorable, right? Because you won your first belt. But what else is very memorable about that fight? Or about that evening? Dare I say your post-fight interview?
Oh, it was the thing with the Jon Jones.
What did you say?
I said, Joe Rogan, no disrespect to you or the 15,000 people in this arena, but I got a message for one man because he's watching. You knew he was watching.
Right.
And I said, get your stuff together. I'll be here waiting for you.
Right. You remember that,
good.
Right?
Yeah, I do. It was good.
Do you remember how that all came about?
I remember talking to Andrew Mayer.
No, get out of here. What are you talking about? You called me the morning of that fight at like 6:30 in the morning.
And I kind of told you, I was like, hey, I think I got something to say in the octagon.
Get out of here. This is a lie right here. You called me at 6:30 in the morning.
Wait, so you're going to take credit for this.
Listen, you called me at 6:30 in the morning of that fight, and I saw your name on my phone. I'm in bed. I'm at the MGM Grand. I was like, holy smokes, Daniel Cormier. And, we had a good relationship. I don't know if we were as close as we are now, but, something was brewing, right?
Yeah, you could feel it.
And this man chooses to call me the morning of his UFC title fight. This is a big deal. So I was worried.
I thought Andy talked to me about this.
Get out of here, Andy. Listen, I love Andy Mayer. No one knows who we're talking about right now. A mutual friend. He has nothing to do with this. Listen to me. You call me and I'm worried and you're in bed, but you're feeling good. And then we get to the point where we start talking about what you're going to say when you win. And I said, DC, I have the perfect post-fight interview for you. And I said it to you and you freaking nailed it. And I was in the back working for Fox and everyone was like hyped that you won because you work for Fox. And I'm like, shh, is he going to say it? And you freaking nailed that thing like word for word, verbatim. Exactly what I told you to say. I told you to say that.
I disagree with this.
I told you to say that.
Maybe parts of it, yes. Maybe parts. Because I remember someone talking to me about it. I really do.
I was the someone that morning.
The morning of the fight?
Yes.
I called you.
Me. You called me and I said, DC, say this. This is perfect because he's going to be watching. Jon Jones, get your together. I'm waiting for you. You nailed it verbatim. And I was so proud.
I don't remember this, but okay. If you say it, I know. If you say that, you talk to me about it, I do. Because I was telling somebody this yesterday. I was like, when you do these things in the octagon, at times you got to think about what you're going to say because the post-fight presser, interviews, all that, it's never a bigger moment than inside the octagon with Joe Rogan. Right? With Joe, you got to have your moment. And I've had some pretty good moments, man, things that have stood the test of time. Somebody said, they put one up yesterday. They said, DC had this iconic call out the UFC about Jon Jones. And I said, I'm always in your bracket and all that. And then
that was 173, by the way.
Yeah.
Same weekend.
Like, you lost. I'm like, so what? So what? It's like, you lost. Okay, so what? But again, I got exactly what I wanted. Right? I got the fights. Mm-hmm. So it worked. I got the fights. Like everything I said, even though I didn't win the fights, I got the fights. I got to fight for the belt. I've had 8 UFC championship fights. I got everything I wanted. It worked. So I think people just kind of, I honestly think sometimes people are just kind of stupid, to be honest. I just think some fans are actually really stupid. Like you don't understand, like, when people talk about you lost a fight, like, look, it sucks to lose a fight to anybody. But if I'm fighting Jon Jones and I'm making $500,000 to fight Volkan, right? Mm-hmm. $500,000. Or Dan Henderson. At the time, I was making $150,000.
Wow.
But I call out Jon Jones and then I make $3 million.
Right.
Then I get to fight him again, and I make another $3 million. Now, who's winning? Right? Ultimately, you're winning on some phase of that deal, So, yeah, it sucks to lose the fight, but I think people are so small-minded that you got to understand, like, it's about winning and losing, which I've done way more than I've ever lost. But it's also about making money, man, and you gotta make money. I mean, look, one of our greatest champions right now is walking away from the sport, and when you think about it, it looks like he's walking away because of what? Not because he's losing fights. What's he walking away for?
He wants to, I don't know, evolve, or maybe he's not happy with the money that he's making.
I think he wants more money, right?
Yeah.
Even he came out and said it. They know the number. Henry said
Right.
they know the number, right? So I'm making the money. So in some portion, I'm winning.
Sure, of course.
You're getting exactly what you want. I didn't win the fights, but I got exactly what I wanted.
I just can't believe that you're not giving me credit for coming up with that gold.
But I do. That was one of my best ones.
But you know what? If you go back to the clip, Lorenzo didn't like it. He was kind of looking at you like,
I
really?
left. No, he wasn't mad though, because I asked him. I actually texted Lorenzo. I was like, "Hey, are you mad at me because I didn't?"
Oh, really?
He goes, "No, it's not a big deal." He goes, "Don't listen to these fans," because people were like writing it all over, like, "Oh, Lorenzo's mad." He's like, "Don't pay attention to that." He's like, "Of course I wasn't mad." He goes, "You just built your guys' rematch."
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.